Hello people and welcome back to News Review. This week there is a new crossover that has been announced of Gintama. I haven't watched it. That's just basically it. There are the usual Diamond Seal characters, 8 of them, and then a good few free cards as well. So let's get into it. The Diamond Seal is going to be called the Oedo series. I'm probably butchering that, but I don't know how to actually pronounce that. When there are 3 or more Yorozuha members in the team, then their HP attack recovery basic value will have a boost of times 1.6, and they also get a CD reduction of 4. So let's start off with, oh, by the way, here, where did it say that? Oh yeah, Gintoki, the 1% jackpot, will have changes, so that may mean power release, maybe virtual, rebirth, whatever. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know, maybe it becomes better, who knows. But right now, he is actually worse than one of the other jackpots, which is kind of, yeah. Anyway, first off, 1% Gintoki, leader skill. He can have Gintama members and border members. He gives them HP times 1.6, which is okay, but a little on the low side. You'll average up to like 60k HP, which is like kind of not okay in today's day and age. So if you run like both leader and ally Gintoki, that is. For his team skill, he focuses on not moving like many steps, which kind of works with the other stuff, which is he converts the top and bottom runestones in the column below each Gintama member into enchanted water human runestones, and then water has the effect of other runestones, so you don't have to like spin as much. But like when you encounter a shield that is not like fixed combo shield, which you can just ignore when you move 5 steps or less, you will have to move quite a bit. So then I guess that's where you rely on your members. If you have Kagura or Shinpachi in your team, then Fire and Dark respectively also has the effect of everything else. I already talked about this skill. And then moving on to his active. His active is CD8. He can convert the board into one of 3 fixed boards, and then his attack times 4 and his damage will be dealt ignoring defense and equal combo shield. Equal combo shield is not fixed combo shield. Equal combo shield is the thing that Lilith can ignore, and she is the only one that can ignore it right now. Gintoki is the second card that can ignore equal combo shield in their active skill, and it's quite a bit worse than Lilith because it's only himself. Granted, he does give himself attack times 4, but I think like that's that's not particularly good. You might just want to like solve it at that point. So moving to his 3 fixed boards, this is from Chinese Reddit. One of his 6 boards looks like this, the other one looks like this, and the other one looks like this. If you've been following the past collabs, you might find these familiar, and it's kind of in theme because apparently Gintama is an anime that makes references to other anime. So these are like boards from other like past collabs. I don't like this one comes from Jalal from Fairy Tail, this one comes from Mikaito from Hatsune Miku, and this one comes from Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. Okay, so these boards are obviously quite good. I mean, they're all like, they don't require to move very much, right? But I don't think this, like, if you have, okay, predicated on the fact that you have the cards I just said that have these boards like as their own active skills anyway, I don't think this card is like worth the 1%, right? He doesn't have, like, as a leader, first off, not that much HP. You're limited to water members, and you're limited in the amount of steps. I think like this, I foresee having like quite a few, like you'll be pretty limited with like what you can do, I think, if like more ridiculous shields come out, because just with normal spinning, right? You can't be activating your active like every turn. Your conversion effect might be like destroying your board, right? So I just foresee some problems happening, right? If you use Gintoki as leader and ally especially. Part of the problem can be kind of mitigated if you do leader Gintoki and then ally Shinpachi. That'll give you a bit more HP to work with, and also Shinpachi's leader skill also works well with Gintoki. The only thing I will say is, if he does get a power up, I hope it'll make him worthy of the 1%. If not, pull for Kagura, because right now she is the actual jackpot, which is funny because that used to be a trend that came along where the sub jackpot was actually better than the main one. Hadn't happened in a while, but in a way kind of glad to see it come back. Okay, bond skills don't really matter. Except, I mean, you can make the case, right? If you have these bond skills, then technically this is times 12 if you use his character runestone to ignore the shield. I mean, that makes it a bit better. It does. But, even then, I don't think, like, the step limitation is still, like, not very appealing to me, personally. Next up is Kagura, Fire Human. She can have Yorozuha members and fire members, and also the second point here focuses on humans. So basically, Yorozuha and fire human members will have the best like attacks basically. Just by her leader skill, she ignores defense, which is a nice bonus, not very significant. In the team skill, this is quite an important point. Alter the attribute of the non-fire Gintama members into fire. This is not alter the attribute of the non-fire Yorozuha members into fire. This is the entire collab. So all Diamond Seal cards, free cards, whatever, if it's within this collab, she can use like the team skill to turn them into fire, and therefore they can be used as her members if they are human, which for like the large part they are, because humans in collabs in anime. Next up, everything has the effect of fire, very nice. Fire has half the effect of heart, very nice. After dissolving, basically she drops columns a bit below herself. She drops columns of fire human runestones below herself, and then drops the corresponding attributes below Yorozuha members. So that's just extra attack, extra combos, extra everything. And then, for every 5 fire runestones dissolved, Kagura launches an extra attack as much as 150% of its attack, so the max 5 extra attacks. This can add to a lot of damage, especially because of the team skill right here, which if you dissolve the leader and ally columns basically guarantees you 10. And by triggering a character runestone, damage received minus 20%, not much, but good to have. Next up, if the leader is Kagura or whatever, however, like these other characters, you get a CD reduction of all of them, and then when a member activates its skill, then all these people will have a CD reduction of 1 again. On to our active, CD6, restore all runestones to normal state. I'm just moving over here for a quick second. This page shows all the current characters that can restore the runestones to normal state, the top being fire. Let's hold on. Yeah, so this card is Fire Demon. I don't remember her name. Of course, really good card. The new Corrupted Diablo, Kohun, and of course the new Latidia. All of these are obviously not human, so Kagura's unique in that she is a fire human. Down here you have all the human cards that can restore the board. Once again, no fire, and they all kind of mess with the board in some way, with a couple exceptions. Well, first off, you have Kurapika. Yeah, that's what this card is called. He poisons like yourself, which sometimes is okay, but sometimes is not very good. Cygnus, the old Cygnus, makes your board frozen in addition to being restoring, so that messes with the board. Karū can't restore the board unless he is a leader. Xiangyu is one of the few that doesn't mess with the board, but he does mess with your runestone dissolving, which can be a downside sometimes. Elpis is a copy of Kurapika. Giyu is mess with the board by turning the outermost runestones into water. Arya converts the board in addition to restoring it, which sometimes you don't want, but sometimes it's fine. Who the hell is this again? The new Saint Seiya Earth small prize. I can't remember the name right now. He does mess with the board, I think. No, he doesn't mess with the board, but he kills himself, which isn't very good. Well, sometimes it's fine, but you probably wouldn't prefer that. This card, an ultimate card, is, I think, the only... This card, an ultimate card, is one of the few cards that doesn't mess with the board. It's just a restore, so that's good. And All for One doesn't mess with the board in terms of restoring, but messes with your attack in that he absorbs everyone's attack. So, with that all being said, Kagura basically is a unique, the first fire human card that can restore the board. So that's quite good. Apart from that, you can also ignore Tornado, which these are right here. These are all the cards that can ignore Tornado. There's one fire card in here. I forget the name, but that's Fire Beast. So once again, the first fire human card to ignore Tornado, the second fire card to ignore Tornado, and the second the fourth human card to ignore Tornado, but I wouldn't count Seiya because that's when his Dragonware is unequipped. Decade, I think he can just naturally, and I forget whether this other Kamen Rider small prize needs a Kamen Rider leader to ignore Tornado. In any case, also unique to her. Laser Trap, this card from Saint Seiya, like an ultimate boss or something, is the only card that can ignore Laser Trap, so the second ever Laser Trap card, quite nice. And last, Sticky. There are quite a few cards that can ignore Sticky, but they're not, like, none of them are Fire Human, so once again the first Fire Human card to ignore Sticky. A couple of fire cards can ignore Sticky already, and a couple of human cards that can ignore Sticky. Yeah, they're like down here near the end of this. But yeah, just a pretty good and pretty unique active in like kind of all three of those respects. Just when you put them all together, right? Like it makes them all better than the cards that can only do one. So very nice card. That's why I grade it higher than Gintoki right there. Okay, moving right along. Shinpachi, Dark Human, as a leader, the thing that's special about him is that you can dissolve runestones by landing 3 or more of them in any shape or form, so like not in a row or in a column, you can just freely dissolve. This does include Skydrop as well, which makes it very nice. Next up. Oh, he has like a glasses form that basically gives himself times 2 attack, like always. And when you activate his active, you clear the glasses state, and then there's a certain chance that he enters it again. Apart from that, his active CD6, if leaders is a Gintama member, restore all cracked positions. This kind of skill just appears every collab apparently. Tap 2 columns to explode them and generate enchanted runestones of the character's attribute and erase in that column, which is basically just free, free combos, very nice. And then for an combo count plus 8, pretty good. And then each Yorozuha member launches 8 extra attacks, as much as 80% of its attack. This is like a huge attack boost if the whole team is Yorozuha. Like, this is just insane. Also, the whole team is Yorozuha. You get 8 times 6 equals 48 extra attacks. So, in addition to your normal attacks, that will push you over 50. So, in the case that you would ever need to solve like a 50 hit shield, there we go. This last point like doesn't really matter because like when will your your team HP is likely not going to be less than 80%, but still a pretty good active, so that's why I placed them squarely in 50 diamonds. Next up is the small prizes. Tatsuma, Earth Human, CD6. He sucks because he depletes your own HP and then he just like does flat damage to the enemy. That's fine, but there's a lot of characters that can do direct damage to the enemy already. Next up is Sadaharu, Light Beast, CD6. He can ignore Puzzle Shield, or runestones can be dissolved by aligning 2 or more in the first batch, or when Kagura is in the team, both effects will be activated. I think here, yeah. For Beast, there's only one card that ignores Puzzle Shield, and that's Veronica, and she is a Dark Beast, making Sadaharu the second Beast card and the first Light Beast card to ignore Puzzle Shield. Very cool. Next up, Elizabeth, Water Human, CD6. Turn the first 10 runestones touched while moving into runestones of the leader's attribute. Kind of sucks. I place her in trash tier. Next up is Kotaro. Light Human, CD5. Explode the 2 bottom runestones 3 times to generate an attribute of human runestones, essentially exploding the whole board. And this second effect is just kind of useless. I place them in 5 diamonds. Whole board explode isn't bad, but it is pretty average nowadays. Dark Human, next up, Shinsuke. Dark Human, CD7. Unlimited runes to move in 10 seconds without dissolving, and this will not be counted as a round, so this is a card that can help Gintoki. Next up, he can ignore Puzzle Shield, which is, as I said before, kind of a unique skill. There are a handful of cards that can ignore Puzzle Shield. As for Dark Human, there are quite a few, being whoever this is for Xiang Yu's wife, Himiko, but that requires you to have Beasts and Dragons in the team, and whoever the hell this is from Saint Seiya, who is also human. But I think Shinsuke wins out in that competition as being the best character to ignore Puzzle Shield, because all these people are like, apart from Himiko, but she has her own limitation, like they don't have as big of an attack boost as Shinsuke. So I place him in 5 diamonds. Like, honestly, it might be a little higher, but he, like, time tunnels are quite common. I don't see me using him anywhere else, just because they're like, for any other team, like Puzzle Shield isn't really a big problem, I don't think. And there's not really a mainstream Dark team. There's he works best within the Gintama team right now. And then the exclusive Dragon Wares, there's not really anything special except the one for Kagura. Yeah, the leader launches 5 extra attacks, 1 attribute each, as much as 100% of its own attack. So this is the first Dragonware, or Draconic even, to solve quintet attack shields that isn't, crafted by yourself. You also ignore quintet elemental shield, which is quite good. Apart from that, I don't think anything special on these. And we move on to free cards. There are 3 free cards that have been shown to us right now. The first being Isao, Dark Human, CD8, damage receivably low to 4,000, ignoring everything else, which is why I placed him at the very top of this tier list. Human damage can overpower the enemies, okay. Each human launches an extra attack, okay. By dissolving runestones, down will be dealt regardless of fixed combo shield. So just like an all-around good card, right? Decent shield solving and a very, very unique damage reduction ability. The team skill doesn't really matter here. Moving on, You have Sogo, Light Human, CD8. The character's attack times 12. The character's damage will be dealt regardless of puzzle shield and initial shield. I think the joke makes itself, because this is what happens when I filter for Light Human and ignoring puzzle shield. Literally every single collab has had like a Light Human that can ignore the puzzle shield. This is actually ridiculous. But he joins the ranks, and if you have any of the previous ones, I mean, sure, like, this is not better than, you know, any of the previous ones, but, you know, get him, because why not? He's free. And last and least, Otose, I don't know how you pronounce that, Dark Human CD6, Gintama members and humans, attack and recovery times 1.6, that's not very high. The more coins obtained, the more rounds the skill stays in play. This is unique but also useless, because he's supposed to collect rent or something. Yeah, rent demand. Moving on to the celebration events, there's a couple things important. Obviously, the new stages and whatnot for the collab, but two returning ultimate stages. One for Malachite. Malachite is a earth elf that boosts your non-attributive damage dealt to enemies, which can become useful like for extremely niche situations, as in like if you're using Diablo or something for some reason. Or actually, yeah, I like nowadays not really. Well, okay, no, with the recent collab with Monster Strike, there's actually use for this card. So for the World Tree Yggdrasil, she makes the whole team launch extra attacks that are non-attributive, and with this card you can boost the damage of that. So that's like one use, I think, one actual useful use for this card. Apart from that, not really. The other ultimate stage is Wen Qu and Wu Qu. This is one of the few fire or god cards to do a stat clear, so this is probably a must get. And apart from that, that is it. Yeah. It also says here there's the monthly challenge of March, which hopefully will not be as delayed as this month's one, because I just finished this month's one, but it probably actually will, because life is going to get busy with school and stuff. Haha. But that is it for this week's news review. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. And if you like this in general, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. See ya!